The IPO will open for subscription on August the 10th and closes on August 14th. Now, in the 880 crore IPO, fresh issue aggregates up to 600 crores and the rest is the OFS. Now, the company has fixed the price band of 187 to 197 per share for the public offer. To understand more about the company, let me welcome Mr. Dinesh and Ms. Mirishnathan for the show. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you. Very nice to see you.
Thank you for being part of the segment, sir. Now, let me also understand TVS Supply Chain addresses supply chain challenges for international organizations, government departments, large and medium-sized businesses, and more. We would want to understand more about the business and are there any expansion plans as well?
So maybe let me start by explaining where we started from. So if you look at it, I think as we looked at the landscape when we started TVS Supply Chain, we realized that the knowledge and the outsourcing was taking place in the developed markets. So in a way, I would say we set out to acquire these capabilities so that we can serve the customers, not just in the developed markets, but also in the developing markets as well. So we looked at UK for the aftermarket supply chain, the US for the production supply chain. And today, I would say we are maybe built this organization with the customer as the focus and the capability cutting across providing this. And so we call it the 3 C's, the customer, the capability, and the country or the geography with which we will operate with the customer.
Absolutely, the 3 C's approach. Now that sounds very interesting. Now, I would also like to understand that what do you plan to do with the IPO proceeds?
Right. So let me take that question. Sure. Just to add on to what Dinesh said, we are a pioneer when it comes to introducing 3PL in India. We are India's supply chain MNC, if you want to call it. We are present in so many different countries. We operate with over 72 Fortune 500 customers, and all this has been built assiduously on the capability that Dinesh spoke about that we acquired early on in our journey. Got all of the knowledge, harnessing that into a platform, and finally put on technology solutions. So we have today a platform which is very scalable, and that's the scalable platform in which we are able to grow our customer base significantly. And that's resulted in a growth for the company from FY20 of 6,600 crores to about 10,235 crores in FY23. And that kind of shows the scalability of this model. The IPO itself, like you introduced, is about 600 crores of primary and 280 crores of OFS. Yeah. We had also raised capital just before the IPO of about 417 crores and then a pre-IPO of 150 crores. So post the IPO, we are talking about a significant amount of equity that's available for us. And we are going to prioritize that to settle long-term debts. Our gross debt is about 1,700 crores. And that's been used predominantly in a lot of the acquisitions that we've made. And, we expect to bring down our long-term debts to zero so that we're left only with working capital debt. And that will give us significant headroom for us to execute on the strategy that has worked so far over the last 3 years in acquiring customers, especially the large and mid-size customers.
Any probably growth plans? How you see your growth after 3 years?
I would probably hold a mirror and say how it has been the past 3 years, and then say it is the scalability of the platform that I spoke about. It is the ability for us to be a solution provider to our customers, bringing together technology, capability, and knowledge, and harnessing the knowledge of the company, which has given us this growth trajectory. And I would, urge your viewer to look at that, and then we'll be in a better position to comment maybe a couple of quarters down the line.
So, and I think just to step back, if you look at it, I think the phases of the growth of the organization. So from 2004 when we started to 2020, Ravi mentioned the number of 6,500 crores. So you can imagine in 16 years that's where we had. But obviously we had acquisitions during that period. But if you look at from 20 to 23, I think less than 170 crores of revenue came from acquisition. So I think, as I keep, Ravi keeps telling everyone, I think the mandate he was given when he joined the organization as the managing director was to have this TVS Supply Chain Solutions as one integrated company with the organic growth engine driving the growth.
Wanted to ask, what are the, which are the different verticals you currently have?
So if you look at our portfolio, I spoke about the diversity of the portfolio. So about 35% comes from industrial customers. About 23% comes from automotive customers. So that's what we call production supply chain. The rest of the business, if I were to break it up, we have about 12% coming from technology and tech infrastructure companies.
Right.
About 12% comes from consumer durables and retail. Another 6% coming from energy and utilities, and about 5% coming from both healthcare and defense related work. So that's really how the portfolio is distributed. And I think it gives us a natural hedging because, like Dinesh said, in different times, because we are geographically spread, we have a natural geographical hedging. The second is because of the diversity in the industry segments, we have a hedging of the risk from an industry perspective. So even though last year was a tough year in Europe, our rest of the world business grew by almost 6%. And that's because of the fact that we work with energy companies, utility companies, healthcare, and all of these companies continue to consume significant part of our service.
Well, absolutely. In fact, it's a well diversified portfolio, and it'll give you an edge in most of any of the untoward circumstances. Well, on that note, thank you so much for your time, gentlemen, and we wish you all the very best for the future. And that's all for now. But do stay logged on to Eating Markets live stream for more investment and trading ideas. Thank you so much for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.